Canadian Lutheran World Relief, or CLWR, helps transform lives all over the world through a multitude of programs that respond to the consequences and challenge the causes of human suffering and poverty. From refugee resettlement to gifts of much-needed basic staples. From emergency relief to sustainable community development, CLWR provides support and education to marginalized people. CLWR was originally created in 1946 to address an immediate need to help fellow Lutherans whose lives were turned upside down as a result of the Second World War. Communities throughout Europe were devastated. Cities, towns, and rural areas destroyed. Food and fuel shortages made life intolerable, and most people were either homeless, unemployed, or both. Canadian Lutherans were compelled to help their family and friends across the ocean.
Germany was in total chaos, and we had some distant relatives here in Manitoba, and they were basically responsible for sort of sponsoring me to come over to Canada. And in about 1948, they got in touch with Lutheran World Relief Association and finally got the papers and whatever was required. And from there on, it's history for me. Next thing I know, I was on the boat on the way to Canada.
When the war ended, the Canadian government approved the formalization of an organization to address the needs of civilians devastated by the conflict, and Canadian Lutherans joined together to create CLWR. What started out as a small and specific focus has evolved over 65 years to become one of Canada's most respected relief agencies, with several modern relief programs around the globe and one of the lowest administrative costs among Canadian-run humanitarian organizations. Within 5 years of CLWR's inception, the focus of our attention began shifting to Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Today, CLWR helps immigrants from countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, Burma, and Sudan settle into the Canadian way of life through financial, language, and life skills support.
We're originally from Ethiopia, so we came to Kenya and we stayed there for a while and then applied. I came with my brother, his wife, and his 4 children. So we came here in 2005, September. Everything was basically done. We just came and it was organized. They made our life easier for us. I applied to U of M and they accepted me. So when I came here and I had options, I chose to ask around, and I thought social work would be great for me. And I'm really grateful. I may not know who contributed to me being here, but I owe it to them. And my way of giving back is to try and do what they did for me, to do it for somebody else.
Beyond shipping donated goods overseas and helping refugees find a new life in Canada, the primary focus of CLWR is community development programs and projects that help improve the quality of life for those struggling against poverty. Long-term sustainable partnerships allow us to work with communities to create a better quality of life through leadership training in gender equality and human rights, training in agriculture, healthcare, including HIV and AIDS prevention and care, literacy education, and care for the environment. A combination of skills training and physical resources enables the people we help to create a sustainable means to reduce poverty and marginalization. For those seeking a more hands-on approach to helping, CLWR's International Volunteer Service connects Canadians with opportunities to serve abroad. These volunteer placements support community development initiatives in countries around the world. The skills and commitment of volunteers in areas of communication, education, and agricultural development have a significant impact on communities in need.
I participated in a trip to Palestine and Israel back in April of '07, teaching English as a second language in one of the schools. Well, I found the experience to be very life-altering or attitude-altering. I had gone under with opinions that I had had lifelong opinions, and that changed radically while I was there. Here we're so used to our freedoms that we don't even think about going from our home to some other place nearby. It's very difficult for the Palestinians to have a kind of freedom and relaxed lifestyle the way we're used to here. And speaking with Palestinians, and particularly my students, I was asked by them to make sure that I went home and shared their story and what they were like and what life was like for them, and so I'm very happy to do that kind of thing.
In addition to our long-term sustainable development work, CLWR is committed to providing a timely and effective response to countries in times of crisis. Whether it is an earthquake, flooding, or civil violence, the incidence of natural or human-made disasters is an ongoing reality. CLWR undertakes this work with partners like Lutheran World Federation as a member of ACT Alliance, a global alliance of churches and related agencies working to save lives, supporting communities during emergencies, and providing development worldwide. When you hear a news report detailing the latest disaster, know that CLWR is there. Your support for these emergency situations helps affected communities by meeting immediate needs such as shelter, food, and water. There are so many ways that we can reach out a helping hand to those in need. The We Care program is a way for people of all ages to get involved on a personal level while providing recipients with specific items they need to bring them hope and comfort. For a suggested donation of $5, you receive a donor package, which includes a list and a bright yellow, fairly traded, reusable cloth bag to put your kit contents in. Once the bag is filled, you send the bag to CLWR and we ship it overseas where it is needed most. Donors can choose from 8 different kits tailored to specific needs, age groups, and genders. Over the past 65 years, CLWR has collected millions of kilograms of donated material resources. Quilts, blankets, kits, and medical supplies have benefited those living in refugee camps and other situations of need around the world. Another way to help others in need and show family and friends how much you care for others is through our Gifts from the Heart program. Choose from a catalog of life-giving gifts like fishing nets, a sack of potatoes, a pair of goats, and many other interesting gifts which help make life better for people who really need it. These gifts are the perfect way to honor friends and family on special occasions. 65 years ago, a concern for fellow Lutherans in need led to the creation of CLWR. Today, we have branched far beyond helping those who suffered in post-war Germany. It is now the bigger common bond of humanity that drives CLWR to find new and exciting ways to help the poor and marginalized. Whether you include CLWR in your prayers, volunteer your time, or support our life-giving humanitarian work with a financial gift, you are instrumental in helping make life better for hundreds of thousands of people around the world. We thank you and hope we can rely on your continued support to do even more.